Hey guys, this is Metallagamer here. Today I'm bringing you my review of Murdered Soul Suspect. The game is out for PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC, of course. Murdered Soul Suspect was developed by Airtight Games and published by Square Enix. It is a smaller company responsible for Dark Void, Quantum Conundrum, and various iOS games. So they're not a real large company. I'd say their biggest and most well-known game would be Dark Void, which wasn't a huge hit. Murdered Soul Suspect is a third-person detective game with a tidbit of horror thrown into it. You play as a detective named Ryan O'Connor. He is a head detective, and he is now a ghost or spirit when you start to play the game. In the very first cutscene of the game, you are in fact murdered, and you are left with the mystery of who killed you, and you are attempting to solve your own murder. It seems like it's kind of a cliche idea, and it really is. It's been done a few times now, but it's done well here. It's quite enjoyable because it's a detective game. I normally like high-octane games with fast action and plenty of stuff going on all at once. But this game has kind of let me open up to the idea of playing detective roles. It makes you really feel like you're doing the detective work. Gives you plenty of ways to find clues, such as just finding them on the ground and examining them. You can temporarily possess people and read their minds or influence their thought processes to bring up subjects that you want answers about. And even when it comes down to solving the situations, it makes you look at the list of possibilities to choose what you think, to allow you to really feel like you're making the choices. It all ends up going in the same linear direction, but you feel like you are making the choices, because you really are. You are the one who is solving the crime yourself. As I said, the game is pretty much linear. It does leave room for some side quests, because you're not just going through these tight little corridors and going from point A to point B. You're going into these kind of open-esque areas, and you'll be left with, okay, here's the main mission of, let's say, the church. Here's the main mission. Find out this bit of information, and then here is this woman who's in the church who wants to find out why she's dead. And then you can take the time to solve that situation, find out why she's dead, or find out what's going on, as well as solve your situation. You can continue the story, or you can take the time to take the side quests. There is a lot of collectibles in the game. They are fairly easy to find for the most part. You're kind of given a general area, so it's not too bad. The collectibles allow for easy achievement unlocks and for extra lore within the series. Also, I'll kind of go into graphics because, unfortunately, based on our generation, graphics is important. It's not incredibly impressive, and since you are in a quote-unquote spirit world, the bluish tone that it has, almost the entire game, gets old after a little while. So the color palette isn't extremely interesting. Okay, so there is a small combat section, and it's not anything crazy, but it is a nice change of pace. There's demons who run around the world and will essentially eat you, kill you. And the segments can be very stressful because what they do is they roam around, and if they see you, you have to try to hide and get away from them. And if you don't get away from them, obviously they kill you. If you do hide and get away from them, they go back on their kind of patrol and look around for you. Now, you have a kind of vision where you can see these demons. So it gives you the opportunity to either go and confront them and try to kill them, or try to stay far as hell away from them. Now, the reason that combat doesn't always seem like it's the best option is you only have a takedown move. Even though you are a detective, your gun doesn't ghost up with you. You can do kind of a spiritual takedown move if you are behind the demon. But see, the thing is, they can also find you if you get close to them. So if you get close and then they see you before you attempt the takedown, or you fail the takedown, then you are on the run. So it really does leave you with the option, if you want to try to take them down before you try to find all of the clues, or if you want to avoid them and just deal with it that way so you don't have to try to fight them. So, Murdered Soul Suspect isn't an amazing game. It's a good game, I'll give it that, especially being a detective game. And I really wish that they would have thought through the decision to release it so close to like Watch Dogs and Wolfenstein, because I don't think this game's going to get any attention. I think it may get a little bit, but it's not going to get the attention I think it deserves, being as good a game as it is. It does have a handful of flaws, even including that the character that you play as throughout the whole game isn't very interesting. He's not unlikable, but I had a bit of a hard time caring about him when it came down to the story mode. And I think that replayability would be kind of an issue, because once you've solved the crime, you kind of understand the story, and all you really have in the game is the story element. Because the combat isn't anything that can really change the way it's done, so this is one of those games I kind of see being played through once, and then that's kind of up and over it. Murdered Soul Suspect isn't a bad game, it just has very limited appeal to a very limited audience. So like I said, this game's not going to get the attention it deserves. So I'm going to go and give Murdered Soul Suspect an 85 out of 100. It's a little bit more than average. Like I said, especially for a detective game, I normally like my high-octane game, and this game has pulled me in enough that I have continued to play it, which is a lot more than I can say for a lot of detective-esque games. Well, anyways, guys, that's my review of Murdered Soul Suspect. I hope you guys enjoy the review, and I hope some of you guys actually pick up the game. But as always, guys, stay fucking metal, and we'll see you next time.